A federal judge has just ruled that Donald Trump illegally deployed the National Guard during protests. The decision is already sending shockwaves through political and legal circles across America.
The courtroom fell silent as the ruling was read aloud, a direct rebuke of Trump's decision to bypass state authority during national unrest. The judge stated that Trump's unilateral action violated the Posse Comitatus Act, a law meant to limit military involvement in civilian affairs.
Legal experts warn this could open the door to further investigations into Trump's other executive orders and emergency measures. But why did Trump deploy the Guard without consent? Sources close to the administration say it was part of a broader political strategy. "I was at the courthouse today, and the tension was palpable. Protesters gathered, demanding accountability and answers from Washington."
The case centers on a 2020 protest in Washington, D.C., when Guard troops were seen escorting demonstrators away from Lafayette Square.
The deployment came under scrutiny when footage showed military-style enforcement on U.S. soil, without any formal state request.
Civil rights lawyers immediately filed lawsuits, accusing Trump of authoritarian overreach and violation of public rights.
Social media lit up within minutes of the ruling, with hashtags like #TrumpGuardGate and #illegal deployment trending worldwide.
The ruling doesn't just criticize the act, it declares the deployment unconstitutional and a breach of federal authority lines.
Trump's legal team plans to appeal, claiming the deployment was necessary for national security and public safety. This case may redefine the limits of executive power. We haven't seen this level of pushback since the Watergate era. Behind the scenes, sources hint at internal memos urging Trump to reconsider, memos that were allegedly ignored.
If upheld, the ruling could trigger additional lawsuits against federal officials who carried out the controversial order.
Many are now questioning the role of the National Guard and how political decisions can entangle military forces in domestic affairs.
Legal scholars believe this decision sets a precedent that could prevent future misuse of military power by presidents.
On Capitol Hill, the news sparked immediate debates. Lawmakers are already drafting new restrictions on executive authority. Civil liberties organizations, including the ACLU, have praised the ruling as a victory for constitutional governance. "We marched back then, and we're marching now. This ruling proves that we were right to question that deployment."
The judge referenced past precedents, including rulings from the Bush and Obama eras, to reinforce the illegality of Trump's actions. Trump's allies have responded fiercely, accusing the judiciary of politicizing national security issues.
Analysts say this could deepen the rift between Trump loyalists and traditional conservatives within the Republican Party. The Posse Comitatus Act was created to prevent exactly this, a president using troops against civilians. An anonymous whistleblower claims that Guard leaders were hesitant but pressured to comply with White House orders. Meanwhile, state governors are speaking out, warning that their powers were undermined by federal overreach.
Governors in both red and blue states agree, military deployment decisions must involve state input.
Across cable news, headlines scream the same message: Trump's power play has officially been called illegal. The last time we saw this level of legal heat on a president was during the Iran-Contra hearings. Trump has not yet made a personal statement, but insiders say he's furious about the decision. Some suspect the ruling might impact Trump's eligibility for future office if new charges arise.
Supporters have vowed to protest the ruling, claiming the judge is part of a political witch hunt. Security has been tightened around federal courthouses due to expected demonstrations nationwide.
Biden's administration has declined to comment on the ruling but is said to be monitoring public response. If the appeal fails, this could become a landmark decision taught in law schools for decades. Activist groups are already organizing rallies to celebrate what they call a win for democracy. Court documents reveal internal disagreements within the Trump camp on how to handle protest crackdowns. A sealed deposition may hold critical details about the decision-making behind the deployment.
This ruling adds fuel to ongoing debates about presidential accountability and the balance of power.
This is not just about Trump. It's about whether any president can sidestep constitutional checks.
Future administrations will likely face new legal restrictions due to this court decision.
For now, the National Guard remains under stricter oversight, with new review protocols in place. This may spark legislative reform, tightening how and when presidents can mobilize the military domestically. I've been covering Washington for 20 years. This is one of the boldest rulings I've seen. Leaked audio from inside the White House reveals frantic discussions about optics and backlash.
This moment may be remembered as a turning point in the fight to keep military power in check.
With the 2024 election looming, this ruling could play a pivotal role in public perception of Trump's legacy. I supported Trump, but this feels like a step too far. The law has to mean something.
Legal analysts are calling for congressional hearings to investigate the full timeline of the deployment.
Democracy advocates worldwide are pointing to this ruling as proof of America's commitment to legal integrity. The full text of the ruling is now available online, drawing millions of readers in just hours. We were told to follow orders. We didn't know it would later be deemed unconstitutional. What happens next? Appeals, investigations, maybe even new legislation, but the legal foundation has been rocked.
This ruling adds yet another layer to Trump's already complex legal entanglements.
As legal teams gear up for appeal, political strategists are analyzing the fallout on upcoming races.
The judicial branch has spoken. Now the legislative and executive branches must respond.
America's democratic checks just passed a major stress test and held strong. This decision will echo for decades, shaping future debates about power, law, and military use. We'll continue covering every development on this landmark story. Subscribe and stay informed.
This was more than a court ruling. It was a message to every future president: the Constitution still matters.